Welcome to my final project. My name is Ting Yu. I am an international student from China. Today, I will talk about international students in US higher education. As we know, globalization was pitched as a strategy that will raise all boats in poor and rich countries alike. Globalization also makes the world smaller. Since the mid-20th century, the United States has been the destination of choice for international students. When pursuing education abroad, many are drawn by the high quality of its higher education system, its welcoming culture, and the prospect of transitioning into the labor market after graduation. Multicultural campus with an open climate can be a significant component of the post-secondary experience. Because college is a time of personal and intellectual engagement, diverse campuses also challenge students to understand why they hold certain assumptions or beliefs and help them to develop frameworks for seeing the world. Therefore, more and more students choose to study abroad. To talk about the history of international students in US higher education, Yang Wing is the first Chinese student graduated from Yale with a Bachelor of Art degree in 1854. Until 1921, more than 8,000 international students enrolled in US institutions. China ranks first with 104,043 students, then Canada with 1,294, and the Philippines with 857. In the 1930s, despite raising anti-immigrant sentiment in the US, more German and other European scholars entered the US as refugees of the Nazi regime. In 1947, end of the Second World War, Senator J. William Fulbright creates the Fulbright Program, which funds international educational exchanges. By 1949, 26,000 international students are in the US. When communism rising up, as China enters a period of isolation, the number of Chinese exchange students in the US drops dramatically during the 1950s. John F. Kennedy asked the Kennedy Foundation to pay for airfare for 250 Kenya scholars, including President Barack Obama's father. By 1969, there are 135,000 international students, mostly from Canada and India. In the 1990s, Asian financial crisis happened. The United Kingdom, Australia, and Canada are seen as alternatives for Asian students, in part because of their schools are cheaper. Still, more than half a million international students studied in the US in 2000. Tighter screening of foreign nationals after September 11th contributes to a drop in international student enrollment. In 2003, the number of international students drops 2.4%. In 2007 to 2008, the global financial crisis hits American universities' finances, making them more eager to recruit international students. Today, nearly a million international students are studying in the US. At some universities, 20% of the freshman class is now from overseas, and more than 30% of all international students are from China. From the image, we can see there are top 10 places of orange international students come from. We can see 16% of international students come from China, India, Saudi Arabia, and South Korea. China represents the largest group of international students in the United States. From the Institute of International Education website I visited, the database showed Chinese students make up 32% of all international students in the United States until 2016. India experienced the largest growth in students studying in the United States in 2015 to 16. The growth rate was 25%. Students from China and India accounted for 83.5% of the growth in international students. The number of international students enrolled in U.S. colleges and universities has grown significantly over time. In 2015 to 16, there was an increase of 7% over the period year in the number of international students in the United States. New York universities, University of Southern California, Arizona State University Tempe campus become the top 3 private or public institutions that are hosting international students. A huge number of international students coming to the U.S. colleges and universities make diversity and cross-cultural campuses. Students meet people, have different backgrounds, religions, building social networking early. Students will be able to refer to respect for varied points of view, openness to new ideas, cultures, and traditions, or the lack of homogeneity. While international students engage in a variety of fields, there are 3 clear favorites: business management, engineering, and math and computer science accounted for more than half of all international enrollments at U.S. higher education institutions in recent years. STEAM programs are most welcome programs in U.S. can get jobs easily after graduate. Based on my research, the overwhelming majority of students from India, Iran, and Nepal were enrolled in STEAM programs in semester year 2014 to 15. The continued growth in international students coming to the United States for higher education had a significant positive economic impact on the United States. For every 7 international students enrolled in U.S. colleges and universities, 3 U.S. jobs are created and supported by spending occurring in the higher education, accommodation, dining, retail, transportation, telecommunications, and health insurance sectors. In 2015 to 2016 academic year, international students contribute $32.8 billion to the U.S. economic and support 400 and 812,000 jobs all over the country, $620.4 million and 8,516 total jobs in Arizona. There was a report I read. It talked about 75% of all international students receive the majority of their funds from sources outside of the United States, including personal and family sources, as well as assistance from their home country governments or universities. Students from around the world who study in the United States also contribute to American scientific and technical research and bring international perspective into U.S. classrooms, helping prepare American undergraduates for global careers and often lead to longer-term business relationships and economic benefits. Arizona ranked at 30th place that hosting international students in U.S. institutions with the highest number of foreign students until 2016. There are ASU campus, University of Arizona in Tucson, Northern Arizona University in Flagstaff, Mesa Community College in Mesa, and ASU Poly campus in Mesa. ASU hosts the largest group number of international students in Arizona. If you are an international student as me in ASU, you must be very familiar with ISSC. If you are not, you might be curious about what is ISSC, who they serve to, what services do they offer. I did an interview with Daniel Hawley, the Associate Director in International Students and Scholar Center in Arizona State University, and he gave answers.
Hi, I'm Daniel Hoyle. I'm an Associate Director here at the International Students and Scholars Center, ISSC, at Arizona State University. Currently in the ISSC, we have 35 staff members and over 40 student workers. We are here to help serve our international students. We have over 10,000 international students from 130 different countries. And they are across the campus in all different majors and different areas with different goals in their studies. And so our job here at the ISSC is to help them understand what we call their rights, their benefits, and their responsibilities as an international student. Many of you may already be aware that international students typically come with one or two types of visa statuses, either an F1 or a J1 visa status. And with that visa status and the accompanying immigration documents, they have certain rules and regulations that they need to follow. And by following those rules and regulations, they receive certain benefits to their studies and certain opportunities. So the core of what the ISSC does is helping international students understand what those rules, regulations, those compliance issues are. We try to do this in a variety of ways that make it easier for international students to access, to understand, and to enjoy their time here at Arizona State University. So that's where our core comes into play, is helping them understand what do I need to do in order to be in compliance. Now, the 5 main areas of compliance that we often talk, and there are more of course, are completing their CVIS check-in, which means when students arrived at ASU, they need to report to us so we can report to the federal government that they did make it and they are here at ASU. They need to enroll full-time as appropriate based on their level of study in their coursework. They need to keep their immigration documents valid, so without allowing them to expire. They need to understand the employment regulations that govern international students while they're here in the U.S., where they can and can't work, how many hours a week, things of that nature. And lastly, updating their address and phone number for us within the system. So as they relocate, as they move, they have certain regulations to follow as far as updating us on their current status. Now, we advise these students in a variety of methods. They can walk in, they can make an appointment, they can email, they can call us on the phone. While the majority of the service happens here at the Tempe campus, we also have sessions and people that go to the Polytechnic, downtown, west, and we have someone stationed at the Thunderbird campus to assist international students with their needs. We also have workshops. We have activities to get the international students together to help them understand the benefits and the rules that are associated with being an international student. To give you an example, outside our office right now, there is a CPT, a curricular practical training workshop taking place for international students that may want to engage in an internship capacity or an internship opportunity during their studies at ASU. Students can come, speak with an advisor, watch the presentation, get their questions answered, because there should be no secrets. International students need to know, and they need to know clearly what these responsibilities are, and that's our goal. So that's a core of what we do. In addition to that, we know that international students need and want other information and support and ideas. So we provide different types of activities and workshops that are beneficial to international students, some that we run out of the ISSC and some that we partner with other offices on. A couple of examples, it's tax season. We are running workshops for international students right now on how to properly file their taxes in conjunction with an outside organization. We have coffee and conversation hours. We have the International Academic Support Center, which helps students with workshops on reading, writing, listening, speaking. We have the OPT, CPT workshops. Pretty soon we're going to have a workshop on visa opportunities beyond your OPT, like H-1B, permanent residency, things of that nature. We have workshops on helping them academically and culturally adjust to the U.S. Things where we often involve police officers or other, units to help international students answer the questions that they may have on their mind. And we know this is a continual process. It's not just a one-time give students information, they're good to go for the rest of their time here. We want to consistently interact with the students. So how do they get information from us? We have a Facebook page, we have the email address, we have the website, we have other social media. Again, they can come and talk to us. Now, as many of you may have heard, of course, there is the goal to continue to accept international students here at ASU, possibly with the increasing of the number of international students. And here at the ISSC, we're always trying to think of what are the best ways to continue to serve our international students. One is we're trying to update our processes. International students, because of these regulations or the benefits that they're trying to take advantage of, have to submit a lot of paperwork to us, a lot of documents. We are trying to create newer, easier to access electronic online forms that international students can use to interact with us on the paper processing side of things to help save them time and save us time so that we can process their request at a much faster pace and deal with a greater volume. of request. And of course, though, we will never get rid of the face-to-face interaction, the advising, the appointments. Those will always exist for students that need them and want to come in and talk to the ISSC. But another overall goal is working with the departments to help them understand international students, helping departments across campus understand international students' rules and regulations, helping to create a more accepting and just an overall better environment for international students here at ASU. In that regards, many of you may have been aware of the executive order that came out recently from the new administration that is currently leading the United States of America. And when things like that take place, when new rules and regulations and changes come out that have effect to international students, the ISSC will always contact directly with the international students. We'll always inform them of the changes, and we'll be clear on what the changes mean for the international students. We won't engage in speculation of what could it mean or what might it mean or what might be next, but we'll always be very clear with the students, this is what it says and this is how it affects you. So to give you an example, when the ban came out on the 7 countries, the executive order, we immediately started collaborating with academic units to gather the students from those 7 countries and having information sessions and workshops and question and answer sessions so that students had the chance to express their concerns and have their questions answered. Those sessions took place over a couple of weeks. We had sessions on how it affects them academically, how it affects them legally, where we integrated with the ASU Law School to give presentations. Services were opened up for people to just go and talk to express their concerns, and so we try to tackle those issues head on with the students and give them as much and the best information possible so that there's not a lot of concern in their mind. Again, what we do at the ISSC though is advisement. We cannot tell a student, you cannot do this, or you must do that. We are here to advise the students on what the rules and regulations are, and in the end, it is their obligation to make the decision and to maintain their status. So we enjoy working with our international students. We love the diversity they bring to ASU. We love the culture and the ideas and the energy, and we hope to continue to see more of them here, and we will continue to support them as they come.
Now, to talk about challenges for international students, because they are second language speakers, when international students first arrive in US campus, they might be too shy to go out and social. They might feel difficult to understand lessons and have hard time to write assignments. When policy changes, students need to worry about maintaining their visa status. They might have homesick because many of international students stay in American by no families. They might feel cultural shock because they come from different cultural background. They need to pay very high out-of-state tuition fee and afford the living expense in US dollars. Now to talk about challenges for universities. Universities and colleges need to find ways to integrate these students into their campus communities. At the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, which enrolls the largest number of Chinese students in the country, the school has broadcast its home football games in Mandarin. For a university with such a dominant football culture, the director says making games accessible to Chinese students is a way to make them feel like part of the broader campus culture. Research has shown that simply having international students on campus does not lead to intercultural interactions. Universities and colleges need to improve in reaching, informing, and communicating with prospective international students to help international students engage campus life. School department can hold some activities and events for students and encourage international students to attend. For example, ASU ISSC has coffee and tea conversation every Friday afternoon 2 to 3 p.m. All students and especially international students are welcome to attend this conversation. Students can talk with people, make friends, and share information. ASU Student Engagement Department holds International Night once a year. Students come from different countries are encouraged to share their culture like dance, songs, foods, and many other things. School department can send out emails include basic information of campus and some marketplaces, movie theaters, restaurants around campus. Announce international students when new policies come and explain the effection. In conclusion, international students have high aspect of the U.S. higher education. International students choose majors which have great career prospects. International students brings huge economic impact on the U.S. society. International students brings cultural diversity and they also facing challenges. Thanks for listening.